The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutling. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling, the Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, you can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Homie, where's your fruit? If the Most High is your rock, don't treat him like a side piece. Come in this truth plan and treat you like a side piece. He's the God of mercy and wrath. So do you wanna fly or do you keep the Bible on cop? The Most High is my rock.
TK.
Rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. My rock. The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah, the Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. My rock. The Most High is my rock. Yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on cop. The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutling. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling, the Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, you can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Homie, where's your fruit? If the Most High is your rock, don't treat him like a side piece. Come in this truth plan and treat you like a side piece. He's the God of mercy and wrath. So do you wanna fly or do you keep the Bible on cop? The Most High is my rock.
TK.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Did we start?
Yes.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Wow, my bad. I didn't even see that. Welcome to another live class. We're here at 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77071. We got classes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 10, Friday 6 to 9, Saturday 10 to 2. If you're local, feel free to join us. We also have a school out in Virginia. They got class every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 7 to 9. They're located at 2610 Granby Street, Norfolk, Virginia, 23517. All right, so again, if you're in the Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk areas, Richmond, you could go down and join class every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're also in San Antonio. We're located at 4444 Walsham Road, Suite 201, San Antonio, Texas, 78218. They got a new location. Their class times are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 to 10. Saturday, 10 to 2. All right, so we got 3 schools, 3 different locations. If you're in any one of those locations, feel free to join us for class. Still working on some things out in Albuquerque, trying to get a building. But if you know anybody out there that's wanting to learn, hit us up and we can point you in the right direction. For now, Mashaba does the Blog Talk Radio out of Albuquerque every Tuesday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Okay, so again, if you know anybody that's trying to get the word out in Albuquerque, hit us up and we will point them in the right direction. We got 2 upcoming feast days. We got Purim on the March 6th and 7th. And before we go into the feast day, we'll put together some information for a class. That way, whoever's new, whoever's first year it is on celebrating the High Holy Day, we will go over it. That way, you know what it is that you're celebrating. So don't fret. We will put together some information. We'll put together a class for you on Purim before we celebrate. We got Passover, April the 12th in San Antonio. All right, we're going to be at La Fontana Springs Event Center, 27618 Natural Bridge Caverns Road, San Antonio, Texas, 78266. She'll put the information up for you to see it. All right, so that's April the 12th. It's gonna creep up. We're trying to get everything together as far as the garments. All right, I sent out a text on the ISBHPK group text. If you haven't responded and you want a garment for Passover, please respond. No response, no garment. All right, we're trying to get a head count so we can understand pricing and how much time it's gonna take. All right, we gotta get that rolling because it's already about to be February. And we know it's crunch time. We got kids class every Saturday at 2:30 p.m. here at the school. That's the Shabbat. You can watch previously recorded kids classes on YouTube at ISBHPK Kids. Okay. We also have our new channel for the cable show and news shows, which is the Hidden Truth Bible Show. Please like, share, subscribe. Can you put the link in the description and in the chat for them? All right, we put in our new cable shows and our old cable shows on this channel. All right, trying to declutterize for you. So the cable shows and the new shows are gonna be about 30 to 40 minutes. Some quick hitters, touch a topic, and hop right out. All right, quick, some scriptures, right to the point, edification, boom. All right, so we'll be getting I believe we have our 2 shows up there, 2 cable shows up there. We're gonna touch on a new show tomorrow and get that up there for you. Okay, so make sure you like, share, subscribe to that channel as well as the others. If you type in ISBHPK, it'll give you all the channels that we have, and you can subscribe to each one as you see according. The school is still selling shirts. They got a few made up still in the back. So if you need a shirt, if you want a shirt that's fringed, they have that back there. As far as anything else for Israel wear, that's on pause until Passover is over. If you need to reach a teacher, you can reach me. My phone number is 303-557-8979. I'm here in Houston. You can reach Kazakia. He's in Virginia. His number is 281-707-2737. Okay? Anything that you like to give towards the Passover, you can do so. We have a Google Wallet, and that's isbhpk@gmail. We also have a Wells Fargo account. She's going to put the information up for that. Anything you want to give monetarily, you can do so. We definitely are taking donations for the Passover lamb.
Con?
We're definitely taking donations for that. It's expensive. It's about $2,000 plus. We want to make sure we get enough lamb to feed everyone. So, yeah, last year we spent about $2,000. This year we're anticipating about the same, maybe a little bit more, maybe an extra lamb. I need to give you ideas about 300 a lamb. Well, yeah, about 180 a lamb, something like that. But it's going to come out to $2,000 plus. So we want to make sure everybody's fed for the Passover. Everybody leaves fat and happy. So if you'd like to help out with that, we got the Wells Fargo, we got the Google Wallet. You can mail also. Somebody hit me up about mailing a check or a money order. You can do that. You can mail those to the school. San Antonio is taking care of the location. We're going to take care of the food. Okay? That's how we kind of do it every year. We'll take care of the location and they take care of the food, but we split it between the 2 schools. So whatever you want to help out with, location, lamb, whatever you send in, just make sure you kind of label it. That way we know where to put the funds, where to designate it to. If it's alms for the school, we'll do that. If you put for Passover, we'll put it towards the Passover. Okay? We also have our business, Sweet Ambiance. Make sure you check out sweetambiance.com. We can do custom fragrances of all varieties, soaps, bath bombs, oils to wear, oils to burn in your house. Fragrances for your car. What else? Man, she's knocking out hand sanitizers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's a beast with it. So, this is all the sisters are, man. So, again, if you like to help out that way, it all goes towards the school. Okay? So, that's sweetambiance.com.
The subscription?
Right, we got a subscription box. You can can subscribe to it. It's a monthly subscription. We send you something different every month, depending on how long you subscribe for. Okay? So that's it for the announcements. Same announcements as usual, right? These are just really for anybody that's logging on that's new. So let's get into our topic. Today is Monday, so got another good topic. Is the title up there?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, what we're gonna go into? Let's see here. Yeah, what we're gonna go into is we're gonna be showing, man, that the Bible. You got a lot of people out there.
A lot of people.
You got a lot of people out there that they don't believe, and they don't let the things around them fuel their faith or fuel their belief in the Most High or their belief in the Bible. They let that atheist mind state take over. They let that, like I seen, even with the things that's happening with Kobe Bryant. And I hopped on my Facebook just to see what the reactions were, check the temperature. And you had people that were like, well, how can God do this?
Oh.
To a man and his daughter. And I'm like, do what? Like there can't be a God if he lets somebody just crash, in a helicopter. And I'm like, yeah, there is.
Yeah.
The Most High, the Most High is the controller of these things. But the problem is, people don't let situations around them and history and archaeology and anthropology be the proof to show that the Bible is real. So what we're going to do today, we're going to go through and point out a few different artifacts that solidify. I mean, the Bible's already solid. The Bible needs no it needs nothing to prove it. It needs nothing to help it. But we're going to go through and pull out a few different instances in the scriptures that happen and show that these things are around till this day. You talk about thousands of years later, we're able to still show, like, wait a minute, the Bible said that this would happen, and look, there it is. Here's the evidence. It's undisputable. Mm-hmm. So first, let's touch on. There's a point in the class that we want to touch on, which is let's deal with the mind of the atheists and the non-believers, and what is it about them where there's so many different sites and things that happen in the world, and natural disasters, different archaeology sites where a man could still say, well, the Bible ain't real. Oh, Noah's Ark, that didn't happen. I don't even believe in Noah. Oh, Sodom and Gomorrah, that wasn't real. I don't believe in that. That stuff didn't happen. It's too comic-y.
Yeah, they make it seem like it's a fairy tale.
It's too fairy tale-ish. Or, that was a copy from this Egyptian god or this Egyptian story. Yahushua is just a copy of Horus and his mom and Isis. Yeah, but there's proof of Yahushua. Mm-hmm. There's proof of Noah. There's proof of Moses. Where's the proof of all these other entities that people say the Bible plagiarized or the Bible copied? So we're going to go through it. I know I'm talking a lot. So what's the first scripture we want to go to?
We're going to go to Psalms chapter 14 and verse 1.
Right. So let me get there. Psalms 14. As we wait for these brothers to get in. No, I'll read. Psalms 14. Where's Noah at? He needs to read. Psalms chapter 14 and verse 1. It says, the fool hath said in his heart, there is no power. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good.
So this is what the fool thinks. This is how the fool views the world around him. Says there's no God. And like Quatazab said, we're starting off on the atheists. These are people that believe that we just came from nothing. That there was the Big Bang, and then nothing created something out of a dot in the universe. How we also came from monkeys. Even before that, we came from amoebas, single-celled amoebas that crawled onto Earth and turned into mammals and then turned into people. This is what the fool thinks.
And that's why it says it's a fool. The fool says it because the fool is not able to distinguish the differences between a man and a monkey. They're not able to distinguish and look at the things that are around them as we go through these other scriptures, the things that are around them that prove the Most High's existence.
Con.
Right? So what's the next one we want to go to?
Next scripture we're going to hit is 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 14.
Right. 1 Corinthians 2:14. 1 Corinthians, let me get...
Because what we're going through, that atheist mindset. And, that's all foolishness with the Most High. They're all into what they can see, what they can taste, what they can touch. They believe in themselves. They don't believe in a higher power. They think it's them and them alone. And you get one shot at this life. And there's nothing afterwards.
So 1 Corinthians 2:14?
Yes, sir.
It says, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High.
So he doesn't receive what the Spirit shows you. He doesn't see the things around him as being spiritual. He sees it as carnal. He sees it as something that it's just nature. There's no controlling factor of nature. There's no spirituality in anything. It's just it is what it is.
Right, yeah, and that natural man, it's talking about a carnal man, a base man, a man that doesn't look at the things around him and examine. A natural man, a man that's not of the Spirit. It says, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit. Why? Because that carnal mind is what takes over.
God.
Right? For they are foolishness unto him.
So yeah, when we start talking about things that are spiritual, it's like, bro, you're tripping. That was a coincidence.
Right. Right. Everything's coincidental.
Yeah, it's all
proved by
coincidental.
science.
Con.
Right.
Oh, there's a scientific explanation for that. Yeah,
Right.
There's no such thing as a God. There's no such thing as angels. There's no such thing as demonic powers. Yeah, you just got negative people. That's just because of the way they think and the way they grew up. Or the things that happen around us. The big thing that everyone's talking about, Kobe helicopter crash. Like you were saying, the atheist is like, why would a God let a man and his family and his daughter die in a helicopter crash?
Right. No, well, there is no God because God wouldn't do that.
Yeah, because God would do that.
Yeah, there is no God because God wouldn't. But you don't know what God would do, and that's the problem with a lot of our people. Because it's funny, it's our people that say it. Like, see, God wouldn't do that. Yeah, he would. Mm-hmm. He said in Samuel's, I kill and I make alive. I heal and I wound. I, the Lord, do these things. But see, you have to first have a belief in the Most High, and you have to let the Spirit talk to you. You have to let the things around you, like nature, bro, come on, nature proves the Most High.
God, you see the Most High all around you and everything.
But the ones that are, watch, it says, for they are foolishness to him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. They can't see these things.
God.
They can't distinguish the difference between the Most High and man. They can't distinguish the difference between spiritual and carnal, the natural man. A lot of these these men that just, like you said, that's just coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, see that's the Illuminati.
Yeah.
It was bad weather. It was bad weather and perfect timing.
Right.
But the Most High does these things.
God.
Right? When you have hurricanes and all these different things, it's like, it's a heart machine that did all the bad weather and hurricanes. It was the heart machine. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Mother Nature either. It was the Most High saying, listen, this is how I'm going to judge this land, whatever land the hurricane hits on, or whatever land a tsunami hits, I'm sending out my judgment.
God.
But the ones that are spiritually discerned, they don't see that. And they don't want to receive it. Right?
God.
What's the next one we want to go to?
Next scripture we're getting.
Ephesians, right?
Ephesians chapter 4.
And we got to touch this angle because it goes right, it goes right into what we're going to touch on, where the Most High proves himself to us daily. He proves himself to us daily, man. He said, I'm the Most High, I lie not.
I changed now.
I changed. He said, the Most High is not a man that he shall lie. So when people come up and say, well, the Bible ain't real, you're basically accusing the Most High of being a liar. You're accusing the Most High that if he says that this artifact is going to be here till this day, or it landed over here, or it ended up over here, and you go and you can see it, the Most High ain't lying. Go to Ephesians 4:17. Read that.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 17. This I say therefore.
So this is a warning. This is a warning to all Israelites, the whole nation of Israel, all y'all out here on YouTube, and those of you here in class. This is a warning saying, look. Oh, you know what? Let me not jump. Read on.
And testify in the Most High.
Go ahead.
That ye henceforth walk, not as other Gentiles walk.
So don't get so caught up in just the physical. Because everything is spiritual. I remember a long time ago, me just starting to come to the camp, having a conversation with S.O.W. It was like, yeah, everything is spiritual. And I was like, my spirit bear witness with what he said. I was like, yeah, he's right. Everything is spiritual. And then even for the people, look, even the atheist type people can't say that there's not energy in everything. There's matter, there's atoms, there's electrons and protons and neutrons that are moving. Now they say in the solid objects, they move slower, but it's still energy in there. So don't be like the Gentiles and just think that, hey, what you see is just what you get. There's more to. It's like the Transformers. More than meets the eye.
More than meets the eye. Right?
More than meets the eye. So, we're spiritual beings. We're a spiritual nation. The Most High has called us, chose us, and has ordained us to be the leaders of the world. And so, we can't be the leaders of the earth being like the followers. We can't.
Being in that Gentile mind, like it says.
Being in that Gentile mind. Yeah, we don't want to keep the roles flip-flopped. We got to step into our power and lead the world like we're supposed to. Read on.
In the vanity of their mind.
And the vanity of their mind is this. There's none besides me. I do it all. I did this, I did that. That happened because of me, that happened because of that.
Or coincidence.
Or coincidence.
And being in the vanity, the nothingness of your mind, it prevents you from seeing the Most High's power and majesty at work. In all things. Whether it be death, whether it be life. Mm-hmm. Whether, like he said, I kill, I heal, I wound, I make, he said, I kill, I bring to life, I wound, and I heal. There's good in all of that. But we well, not we, because I get it, but the natural man that some of these people roll with, that natural brute spirit, that base lack of wanting to be spiritual type of spirit, you don't see the good in any of it. It's just like, well, God wouldn't do that. See, there is no God. Because the vanity of your mind gets you caught up in how you think things should be. The Most High said, my thoughts are not your thoughts. My ways are not your ways. Right? Read on.
Having the understanding darkened.
Having what?
The understanding darkened.
And that's the problem with these non-believers. Their understanding is darkened through whatever device they're on, whether it be pride, whether it just be sheer hate, whether it's, a lot of people don't believe in God because, a lot of people don't believe in God because of death.
Yeah.
They don't understand death. And it is the thought that why would God take this person from me or take a life so young? And for the ones that have their understanding darkened, they're looking at age. They're looking at flesh. And they're like, well, man, God, why would God do this? Why would God kill a child?
Right.
Or why would he kill a child in that way? Or why would he make this happen? Or why would he make that happen? Well, God don't look at the things that we look at. Like he says in Samuel, he look at the mind. So we have to keep our understanding in the Most High illuminated and really search and seek. And it's not hard. You just got to stay in the book. You got to stay in the meditation. When the whole thing happened yesterday, man, me and Kazak, we got on the phone and we just start going through. We just start talking about this death. And if you're really in the spirit, you can get the balance on it. You can get the different balances on death and why death happens.
Done.
But you really got to be in the spirit to not let emotion, because that's what happens. Emotion clouds understanding.
Wow.
Emotion clouds understanding, and emotion pushes you away from the Most High. Emotion turns into pride. So a lot of people, they hate the Most High because of the things that's happened in their life and their lack of understanding, their lack of willingness to lower their mind real quick to say, man, what is the Most High trying to show me?
Right.
Instead of saying, well, God, you did this. You don't like me.
Picture.
Huh?
The bigger picture.
The bigger picture, but a lot of minds, this atheist, God is not real, or else he wouldn't let this happen type of mind, that darkened understanding is because it's pride, man. It's pride, and it's not wanting to see what the Most High is trying to show. Right? Go ahead, finish it.
Being alienated from the life of the Most High.
And that's what happens. Now you become alienated. So now when we go through the Bible and we're like, oh yeah, Sodom and Gomorrah. Look, go over there and look. It still says, it's still doing what the Bible said it would do thousands of years ago. You're like, oh no, that's just a coincidence. Because the way the atmospheric pressure did this and it dropped and then the ground got hot and there's no such thing as sulfur raining from the sky.
Oh, what happened was it's by the Dead Sea, and the Dead Sea is a very acidic and salty type of sea. So when the precipitation that comes off of it goes into the clouds, and the way it rains, comes down,
it rains hot. But they'll run with that scientific, natural. That's the natural answer, right? That's the natural, non-spiritual answer. Instead of letting the things that are prove he is. Right? Finish that up.
Being alienated from the life of the Most High through the ignorance,
right,
that is in them.
Right? You see that? It's ignorance to not believe in the Most High, to not believe in a higher power. It's sheer ignorance. Go ahead.
Because of the blindness of their heart.
Because the blindness of their heart. So now you got to see what blinds the heart, man. What I said, it's hurt, it's pain. A lot of these atheists have been through hurt and pain in their life. And it blinded their heart. It blinded their mind from seeing the true understanding, from seeing the things that are. Right? Go to, was that Ephesians? We're not going to go here. Go to, which one do I want? Go to Roman. Go to 2 Peter's. Is that what I want? Let's see. Go to 2 Peter's 3. Go here real quick.
Verse 1.
2 Peter's. Go to 2 Peter. Let's see here. 3 and 3.
2 Peter's chapter 3, verse 3.
Right, but throw this one in here. Go ahead.
Knowing this first,
that
there shall come in the last days scoffers,
right,
walking after their own lusts.
Wait. So when they get alienated and darkened, what do? They scoff and they do what?
Walking after their own lusts.
So they scoff at us. Oh man, Christ ain't coming. Y'all said that in 2000. Oh, what about the Y2K? Oh, y'all putting together classes on Ukraine bombings. It ain't happening. They scoff. Right? Walking after their own lusts. Why? Because I want to continue to do the foolishness that I'm doing here. I don't want Christ to come. I want to continue in non-belief in it. What do they say? Ignorance is bliss.
Yep.
I want to continue to be ignorant. That way I can have an excuse to live the way I live. That's a lot of that atheist mind also. It's not because you really don't believe. It's sad. You got some atheists that believe in the devil. Now, how can you believe in the devil and not believe in Yahweh Shai and the Most High?
Wow. Yeah, that's backwards because you're believing in a higher power.
Well, you're believing in the creature and not the creator.
Wow.
Remember, the devil was created. Satan was created.
God.
That angel was created by the Most High in Christ. So how can you believe in one and not believe in the other when one is controlled by the other?
God.
But see, them being ignorant, their understanding dark, and they don't even understand that Yahweh Shai controls Satan. That Satan got to come to Yahweh Shai to make his moves. But that understanding is darkened. I want to carry out my own lust. Watch, go ahead.
And saying,
right?
Where is the promise of his coming?
Well, the promise of the coming, it's been all around us from the beginning.
Ooh.
There's still things from Noah's time that is here present with us. There's still things from Abraham's time that is here with us. The promise of the coming, bro, it's all around us.
The evidence
of
the promise
these things
of the coming
is all around us. Right? Go ahead.
For since the fathers fell asleep,
right,
all things continue as they were.
Yeah, man, Noah died, Abraham died. I don't even believe in those guys. But just to play devil's advocate, right? If Noah was around, ain't nothing changed. Yahweh Christ died and ain't nothing changed. That's the mind state. Because why? I want to promote my own lust. My mind is darkened because of some hurt or pain that I went through, where now that allows me to not believe in a higher power. The chastisement that I'm going through, it exempts me from believing in God. That's how they think. So since the fathers fell asleep, things have been the way they have been. Right? Go ahead.
For all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation.
Right. But from the beginning of creation, there has been specific instances that have been set in place where if you show up in a certain region, you'll see the evidence. You show up in Turkey, oh wow, there it is. You go to Mount Sinai, you say, oh whoa, wait a minute, there's evidence. You go to the Red Sea, wait, oh hold on, wait, what? Where are those artifacts? And we're gonna go into them, right? Read on.
For this they willingly.
This what?
They willingly.
They what?
Willingly.
See, this is a willing thing.
Wow.
This ain't like by mistake, I didn't believe. This is like, nigga, I'm willingly gonna shut my ears. I'm willingly gonna be blind to all the evidence. I'm not hearing that. Willingly, because it's there is the point. If you want to see it, all you got is as quick as a Google search.
God. you know that on that willingness of not wanting to see it, man, you can put all the evidence out in front of some people. Point by point by point by point by point, and they'll still dispute it and make up their own reasoning for it. It's just like when you deliver the scriptures to people on the street. You know, they want to do everything and say everything possible to try to discredit it, even in their own life examples.
Some people wouldn't know the Most High if he checked them.
Con.
So with that, where that verse comes in, to where it says like those that will be punished with less stripes or something like that.
Con.
But
right, Luke 12:47.
Really, all this is because they wanted to be like that. They didn't want to learn because they wanted to be like that. They're ignorant because they wanted to be ignorant.
Some people want to be ignorant. Ignorance is bliss. Some people want to be in the dark. Right? He talks about that in John, where he said they don't come to the light because their deeds will be reproved. Some people want to stay in darkness. They don't want that negative to have that light shine on it. Some people don't want to believe on purpose, because that belief comes with it comes with an expectation. Us as believers are expected to do what? To apply.
Ooh.
We're expected to now walk. Like Paul said, you know the way you ought to walk because you have us for an example. So a believer, us as believers in the Most High in Christ, we have to walk a certain way to show our belief, faith without works. But the atheist mind is like, nah, I'm good on that. I got to do that? Oh, no, I'm good. I'll just continue not to believe. And them being, for this, they willingly are ignorant, right? What you got? What's up?
So there's no excuse.
No, there isn't no excuse. There is no excuse. Read on.
That by the word of the Most High, the heavens were of old.
That by the word of the Most High, the heavens were what?
Were of old.
Go ahead.
And the earth standing out of the water, and in the water, were by the world that then was.
Right. That's it on that. Now from there.
1 Corinthians.
No, from there, go to Wisdom of Solomon. Go to Wisdom of Solomon 13:1. We gotta put this one in here. Wisdom of Solomon 13:1. We missed one.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 1.
Right? Goes right along with this right here, with this Peter's. Go ahead.
Surely, vain are all men by nature,
Go ahead.
who are ignorant of the Most High.
Right. And you know why I like this scripture? Because we are all ignorant of the Most High. We all are vain by nature. We all are natural man by nature. And then what happens? You have some that get illuminated, and they get the Spirit, and the Spirit works through them and with them, and they're able to see. And you have some that's like, nah, bro. Nope. I'm going to be willingly ignorant, like the scripture has said. Go ahead. They stay vain. Read.
And could not out of the good things.
And that they could not out of the what?
Of the good things.
Go ahead.
That are seen, know him that is.
Right. Now, what are the good things that are seen? It's simple. Give me some good things that are seen. I want to see if you're thinking.
Life.
Right. You see life. You can see life created. You can see life made. Right? What else? And when you look at life, when you say life, life on all levels. There's not just one type of life. It's not just human life.
Right.
You got different type of life, man. Life forms. It's like, you mean to tell me nature just blew up and made all these different type of categories of life? Look how different we are look how different we are as human beings from fish. We don't even breathe the same thing. Think about that. The thing that kills them gives us life. The thing that gives them life, if we are under it, water, it brings us life, but if we sit under it, we'll die. Think about that. It's the reverse. The things that are seen, right? The good things that are seen, like water, like rain. You're like, damn, it rained. That's a good thing, because when that rain shut up, you're like, whoa. They'll pray to God for the rain, but when the rain is coming down, it's like, well, it's because the cloud moisture, the participation, and the high pressure and low pressure, and the hot air meets the cold air, and then boom, it rains. Okay, yeah, we know that. We know that's how it works, but who made that happen in that way? Not man. Not man. And then what happens when it rains too much? When it's like, damn, this is just some weird anomaly. No, it's not. That's the Most High making a cloud sit over Houston and rain for 2 weeks straight. And then they name it Harvey. The Most High is like, yeah, I'm going to park this cloud right here. Park, stay, and spin real slow. Real slow at 3 miles an hour. And just cyclone around a whole city. And just drop tons of water. And flood it. Come on, man. And then in a day, just break apart like nothing ever happened. The good things that are seen, right? Read on.
Neither by considering the works.
Neither by doing what?
Considering the works.
What's the works? Well, the trees, the animals, us. We always talk about it. You blink, you breathe without even thinking. You blink to moisten your eyes. You don't even think of like, let me blink. You just do it naturally. Who programmed that? You breathe naturally, even when you're sleeping. Who programmed that? Your body does certain things while you sleep. Who programmed that? Your body? What computer chip is in the body to program the body to do certain things? But there's so many things in nature that prove the Most High and prove that He's real. But, go ahead.
Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster.
Go ahead.
But deemed either fire,
Go ahead.
or wind,
Read.
or the swift air,
Come on.
or the circle of the stars,
Read.
or the violent water,
Come on.
or the lights of the heaven, to be the gods.
To be the what?
Gods.
How can the things that are created be the gods? Well, because them being willingly ignorant of the Most High, them having their understanding darkened, them being alienated from the Most High, this is why now you prop up the sun, moon, and stars as gods. This is why now you believe in Kemet and Hotep. This is why now you got a God for the wind. You got a God for the soil. You got a God for the grass. You got a God of music. You got a God of this. A God, the woman is God. I'll believe in everything else but the one true power, but I have a God for because even atheists, they have gods.
But don't they believe in like just the universe? They believe in the theories,
Yeah.
the Big Bang.
But all those things still like they believe in karma.
Yeah.
All that is what a man reaps is what a man sows. Where'd that come from? What goes around comes around. That came from the Bible. They believe in biblical concept just without wanting to practice the things in the Bible. Right? Go ahead.
To be the gods which govern the world.
Right?
With those beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods.
Right, that's it on that. From there, go to, now let's go to Romans. Romans 1:20. I didn't throw that in there. That goes right there. Go to Romans 1:20.
Romans chapter 1, verse 20. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood.
And right now we're just touching on this. The topic that we're going over is the Bible doesn't lie. And we're going to show different artifacts that are still around that stood the test of time from Genesis. Right? But in this point of the class that we're going over, we're showing about this atheist mind. It's real important to understand that the atheist mind is a simple mind. It's real easy to break down because the things around us prove the Most High. Go ahead.
Being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal
Read
power.
from the top one more time.
Romans chapter 1, verse 20. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood.
Like air. Air is invisible, but it's clearly seen because I get to live another 5 minutes. Right? I get to live another 10 minutes if I keep breathing this invisible thing. I'm using air because it's easily, but it says it's easily understood, right? That if I breathe air, I will live, even though I can't see it.
Right.
You see how simple it is? But what happens when you breathe in carbon monoxide? Ooh.
Yeah.
But guess what? Can you see it? Smell it? Touch it? Feel it? No. So all these invisible things, they're clearly understood that if I breathe in carbon monoxide, it'll kill me. But if I breathe in oxygen, it'll give me life. Who set that up? Who set that up like that? Now, don't we breathe out carbon?
Yeah.
We got to see the ebb and flow. I call it an ebb and flow. It's like a perfect balance of things. You suck in oxygen and push out carbon. Then, what do trees absorb?
Carbon.
To give you what?
Oxygen.
Who did that? Who did that? Did you program? Are you remember in the Matrix, he was the architect?
Yeah.
Are you the architect?
Lie.
There had to be an architect for these things, man. For things to work in this it's a perfect balance. And you can tell because when humans step in, we disrupt the balance, right? They call it our carbon footprint. You cut down all the trees and you start to suffocate, right? All the bad air just floats from Cali to Colorado down to Texas. And you're like, damn, what happened to why is there so much bad air? All that smog, well, we cut the trees down. Why are the oceans dirty? Well, we eat all the things in the ocean to clean it.
We eat all the filters.
We eat all the filters. And then you clearly can see the destruction around us. So even the evidence of the Bible saying, don't eat this animal because this is what it does. And then we do it. What do you get to see? The earth defiled by the inhabitants thereof. You see the defilement of the water. You see the defilement of the air. You see the defilement of the trees. Because why? We take out the things that were from the beginning put there to do its purpose. How can you deny that? And so when the Bible comes back and says, and the swine and the crab and this and that, don't eat it, there was a few reasons why not to. Well, the first reason was because it had a purpose. Taking things out of its natural use. Go ahead, read.
Being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse.
They're without what?
Excuse.
Yeah, they can't deny. They can deny to them. They can lie to themselves, but in their heart, they know the truth. They know what the Most High has set before us. And just like we're going into in this class, the archaeological findings, the history that's still here today, it's undeniable.
It's undeniable. And like the scriptures say, the earth helps the woman. The woman is us. And the earth starts to vomit up certain things or preserve certain things. Right? So what's the first one we're going to go into? Let's go get to the next point now. So we're off of the atheist point. Now let's go into the different things that the earth has preserved for us to say, yeah, look, the Bible spoke of it. Not that we have to validate the Bible. I want to make that very clear. We don't got to validate the Bible. The Bible validates itself. No man can say, oh, well, see, we got to go validate the scriptures. Hell no. The Bible is already validated through the Spirit of the Most High by Hashem Yahushua. But what we can say is, whoa, the Bible spoke it, and there it is. So what's the first thing?
Noah's Ark.
Let's get it.
Noah's Ark.
Go to Genesis 7.
Verse 1.
Genesis chapter 7, verse 1. And the Most High said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark. For thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens, the male and his female, and of beasts that are not clean by two, the male and his female.
Okay, so just setting the scene. You know, we all know the story. You know, he's getting the clean and the unclean animals and preparing to load them up on the ark. Read on.
Right, because the earth was filthy. The Most High seen that man was getting wicked. He said, I'm going to flood this earth, right? I'm going to use something that you have never seen to destroy this place. Build an ark. This is how you're going to build it. These are the dimensions. This is the type of wood you're going to use. These are the animals. Clean animals, unclean animals. These are the numbers, right? So the Most High set this up for a reason. He was, one, destroying wickedness off the face of the earth, but still going to preserve righteousness. And he did it in this manner. Now, people read this and they're like, there's no way you could just flood the whole earth and and there's no way a boat can hold all the animals and, well, let's see. Go ahead.
You know, just on that point right there, there's no way, and we're gonna get to the scriptures, gonna see. But for those of you who were here in Houston and been through the Harvey, it really didn't rain all that time that it was flooded. It really rained like 3 days.
Yeah. Hurricane Harvey, it rained. It rained more than 3, right?
Nah.
What, it rained for 3 days straight? About? Yeah.
Yeah.
About right.
And then, but the water stayed around for, it felt like forever.
Yeah.
Streets were still flooded long after it stopped raining. Some come out, some go back down, but the water still remained for a long time after the rain had came. Let's continue in the reading.
Verse 3. Of fowls also of the air by sevens, the male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights.
So think about that. So the Harvey didn't rain specifically all that long, but the effect of the water stayed around. It said it dropped. I think they were saying that
12 feet, something like that.
I know they were saying like tons of water.
24 feet of water. something like that.
In 3 days.
In 3 days. That was only 3 days. And this is the thing about Harvey, too, when you looked at it. It would downpour, then it would slow up, and it would be sprinkling. Then it would downpour, then it would sprinkle. It would downpour, then it would sprinkle. Noah's flood was a straight downpour.
Continuous downpour.
He said he opened the windows of heaven and just poured water out. Right? It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to let up. It rained 7 days. It says it. Go ahead.
And every living substance that I have made would I destroy from off the face of the earth. And Noah did according unto all that the Most High commanded him. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of waters was upon the earth. And Noah went in, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives, with him into the ark, because of the waters of the flood, of clean beasts, and of beasts that are not clean, and of fowls, and of everything that creepeth upon the earth. There went in two and two unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as the Most High had commanded Noah.
What verse you at?
10.
Okay, go ahead.
And it came to pass, after 7 days, that the waters of the flood were upon the earth.
Right, so it took 7 days for it to flood. After 7 days, it was flooded.
All there.
Yeah. All the known earth was flooded after 7 days. Check this out. Go ahead.
In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month of the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights.
So then it rained 40 days and 40 nights. Straight.
So that's after everything was flooded.
It's still raining.
It still rained. So that water level was just rising.
So if you look at what happened in Houston in 3 days, imagine straight continual rain in 40 days. Right? And this is not a rain class. We talking about a lot of water up in here today.
Okay.
But just not, when you look at the way nature, remember it tells you that the things that are happening, the invisible things now, prove the Most High's power. So if you look at, even the other day it flooded. It flooded real quick. What was that? It was like a quick little rainstorm. That was like 4 hours and everybody's car stranded. Bro, in 4 hours I couldn't even drive out of my parking lot.
Yeah.
4 or 5 hours and Houston was underwater. So imagine 40 days of rain. The magnitude, right? So is it far-fetched now? No. If you just look at how things happen today, bro, you'll have they call it flash flood, meaning 1 minute it's dry, the next minute you knee deep. You're like, whoa, where'd it come from?
God.
Right? Flash flood warning in this area. Boom. And it's like, all it needs is a good 10, 15 minutes of downpour. And you're in a flash flood warning. So imagine 40 days of rain. What that does.
Even with speaking on Hurricane Harvey in Houston and towards the Gulf, going towards South Texas, 2nd story apartment complexes, big old massive business signs and everything were getting destroyed. We're getting underwater. It was crazy.
Right. Even when when the brothers got caught out in Louisiana 3 years ago, and it flooded out there, bro, that happened in like the matter of 8 hours, where the water was up to the roof of cars. Think about that. So if the Most High can make it rain that quickly and that much in 8 hours, 40 days and 40 nights, boom.
Yo, I know this is really random, but the reason I don't have my Bible is because the heathen ripped it up. They ripped up my Bible, man.
Well, get another Bible. What you got?
I'm gonna get one. I'm just kind of mad, bro.
Well, don't be mad. Don't be mad about it. Just get another Bible.
That was like, I experienced my first flood when we were down in the valley of Texas.
Right.
It only took like not even an hour before it was starting to flood and people's cars were being flooded and everything. And then like it rained for only 1 day and people were stuck in their homes for a week.
That's my point. Where the Most High wants something to happen, He'll show you His magnitude in an hour. He'll show you His power in 5 minutes. Right? So go ahead, read on.
Verse 13. In the selfsame day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and 3 wives of his sons with them into the ark. They and every beast after his kind.
Right, jump down to verse 17.
Verse 17. And the flood was 40 days upon the earth.
Right.
And the waters increased.
Right.
And bare up the ark. and it was lifted up above the earth.
Right, so the ark was lifted up above the highest mountain. What's the highest mountain? Everest?
Count.
The flood was lifted up above the highest mountain. That's what the water did. It beared it up. Right? Go ahead.
And the waters prevailed, and were increased greatly upon the earth. And the ark went up upon the face of the waters.
Right.
And the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth.
Read.
And all the high hills that were
All the what?
All the high hills
Go ahead.
that were under the whole heaven were covered.
So, like Quatazab just said, even the highest hills were underwater. Think about that. That's a gang of water.
It said the water, watch, read on. It's going to give you a description.
Verse 20. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered.
So 15 cubits above the highest mountain. Right? So what is 15 cubits? Cubits. Cubit. C-U-B-I-S. Cubit in miles. Damn. Go ahead, read on. Oh. 15. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 7, verse 21. And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl, and of cattle, and of beasts, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man. All in whose nostrils was the breath of life. Of all that was in the dry land died. And every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things, and the fowl of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth. And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark.
A little fun fact: think about how many tons of water was pressing down on these dead bodies, on this plant life, the trees and stuff like that. Well, that's your fossils nowadays, that they're dating millions and billions of years in time. That's how they're getting like all this extra time on these dead bones, these fossilized trees and stuff like that, because all the pressure from that flood made them older, made it seem older according to I guess their carbon dating and stuff like that. They made it seem older, but we all know how old the earth is. It's not as old as they say it is. It's not, millions of years old. But read on.
And the waters prevailed upon the earth in 150 days.
From there, go to Genesis chapter 8 and verse 1.
Genesis chapter 8, verse 1. And the Most High remembered Noah, and every living thing, and all the cattle that was with him in the ark, and the Most High made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, the rain from heaven restrained, and the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of 150 days, the waters were abated. And the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 7th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat.
So the Bible is giving us a specific location where Noah's ark rested.
Mount Ararat.
Ararat.
So let's look that up. Who knows where that is on the top of their head?
Turkey.
It's Turkey. That's Turkey, right? When you go in there and look it up, those are the mountains. Mount Ararat is a mountain region. It wasn't just one mountain. It was a region of mountains, right? And when she gets back on there, she's going to throw up the images. Mount Ararat is in Turkey. So if you look at Turkey geographically
Yeah.
on the map, where is Turkey located? Who knows?
By Russia?
It's by Russia, but what is it directly above?
Israel?
Israel and that whole Mesopotamian area
Khan.
where Noah was. So he didn't stray too far from where the ark started. She's gonna put it all up. Turkey is here. Israel and everything, Saudi Arabia is all here. Yeah, more like that. Turkey, and then you got Turkey goes into Germany and Poland, and then you got Great Britain over here. You got Africa down here. I'm doing my map thing again. I'm sorry.
There
Yeah.
was just an article the other day that they actually started to uncover the ark in Turkey.
Oh, I was reading something where they wouldn't let them do that.
No,
Did they?
Yeah, like it started to like uncover it.
Nice.
They found it.
But you see that? The earth helped the woman.
God.
So the ark, because as she's putting these different images, you can see the imprint of the ark in the damn mountain.
Yeah, it's the same measurements too.
As what the scriptures say. Now, who put that there? Did the aliens come down and...
So that's a coincidence.
Right. That ain't dark. Because you ain't seen it. That ain't what it is, right? That's just a big boat. That wasn't Noah's Ark. That was a different one that ended up coincidentally in Turkey in the same mountains that the Bible said that Noah's Ark would be at and located. I mean, come on, man. That's just one. Mount Ararat, right? In Turkey. And if you understand and look at the maps and understood where Noah was and understood where he ended up, oh, he was right above the region that the Most High, that whole land of Canaan and all that stuff. He was right up in there. That whole Garden of Eden, he was right above it. That's where Turkey is, right above it. Just off to the west a little bit. You gotta look at the maps. That's how we get the understanding too. Look at maps. Right, go ahead. Was that it on that?
Yeah, that's it on that one.
Right. So that's point number one. Go ahead. What's the next one?
The next point we're going to get into, because we got Noah's Ark, archaeological. Come on, with the word. Archaeological evidence of Noah's Ark landing where it's at today. We have what the scriptures say where Noah's Ark landed, and that matches up with what we can see today. Next point we're going to go into is Sodom and Gomorrah. Now people think that was just a fictitious story. That, hey, that's just something people use to gay bash. No, it's not something used to gay bash. It's an actual historic event that happened. And there's historic evidence of what happened. But first of all, let's get the story of what happened. Give me Genesis chapter 13 and verse 10.
Genesis chapter 13, verse 10. And Lot lifted up his eyes, and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere. Before the Most High destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Most High, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zoar.
Okay, so Sodom and Gomorrah was a nice land. It was a nice, flourishing environment. Like he said, this was the point where Abraham and Lot, they were too close together, and Abraham was like, hey, Lot, look, our herdsmen keep getting into it. Look, you pick a side, and I'll just get the opposite side of what you pick. And Lot looked over to Sodom and Gomorrah area. He's like, this is the spot right here. It's lit over here. I want to have this side. Abraham was like, cool, you got it. And so that's where they parted. So Lot looked over at Sodom and Gomorrah, seen how watered it was, seen how plush it was, and he decided to move his flocks, his cattle, his family to Sodom and Gomorrah. From there, jump to chapter 18 and verse 20.
Genesis chapter 18, verse 20.
And here, what we're going to get into is why the punishment of Sodom and Gomorrah came the way it came.
Genesis chapter 18, verse 20. And the Most High said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous.
Their sin was very grievous. Most High was he had enough of all the pride, all the covetousness, all the homosexuality and adultery that was happening in Sodom and Gomorrah. So he was like, you know what? I'm done with this place. It was so much of a stench that the Most High said, I'm going to wipe this out. I don't want the smell of this place in my nose no more. Jump to verse 32.
Where we at?
Genesis chapter 18, verse 20. And we're
What was the first one you went to?
I went to Genesis 13 and 10.
Right.
Genesis chapter 18, verse 32. And he said, Oh, let not the Most High be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake.
So, I cut it short here. Abraham goes back and forth with the Most High, 50, 40, 30, 10. Like, he was like, okay, will you destroy this city, even if there's righteous people here? Went all the way down to 10. Said, I won't destroy it if there's 10 people there. But as we see through the story and what happened, there was less than 10 people righteous there. From there, jump to Genesis 19 and verse 12.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 12. And the man said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides son-in-law and thy sons and thy daughters and whatsoever thou hast?
Now the men that is speaking of in the scriptures are the angels. The angels came to Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot said, hey, stay with me, chill with me, let me feed you, let me give you water to drink, stay the night here. And the men of Sodom and Gomorrah were trying to bust down Lot's door and have sex with the angels. But, the angels blinded them. Y'all can go back and read the story if you don't know it. I'm just hitting these certain points of the story so we can get to the historical facts that we see today. The historical evidence of what we see today with Sodom and Gomorrah, that land. Read on.
Son-in-law and thy sons and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place.
So the angels are saying, hey, get your wife, get your daughters, get your sons, and y'all need to bounce. Go ahead.
For we will destroy this place because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Most High.
Read.
And the Most High has sent us to destroy it.
Go ahead.
And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you out of this place, for the Most High will destroy the city.
So Lot's trying to get his son saved, or his son-in-laws. His daughters are betrothed to people. He's like, hey, look, come on, I'm getting my daughters out of here. Y'all need to get up out of here too. It's going down. Now, if you're counting, we have Lot's wife, his two daughters, and then they have husbands. It says son-in-laws.
Betrothed, right?
Or the betrothed. So that's 6 people total. So the deal that the Most High that Abraham was like trying to wage with the Most High is like, hey, if there was at least 10, would you spare the city? Most High said I would spare it for 10. But they fell short. Sodom and Gomorrah fell short. They didn't have enough righteous there. They only had, they had really one, because the son-in-laws, watch, finish that last part of the verse.
But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law.
So they mocked him.
Well, no, he seen as one that mocked.
Oh, he seen
They were like, nigga, you tripping.
Con.
This ain't happening. Like, why you mocking us?
Con.
This ain't like, leave. Nah, this is our house. This is where we gonna be at.
So we had 6. We're down to 4. Read on.
And when the morning arose, the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, and the Most High being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, Escape for thy life, look not behind thee, Neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain.
So he said, look, angel set them out. He said, you got to get out. It's the time. It's about to go down. Jump to verse 24.
Verse 24. Then the Most High rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Most High out of heaven.
Nah, that ain't real. I don't believe that. Nah, ain't no way that it just rained brimstone. You mean to tell me it rained sulfur from the heavens?
Sulfur. Fiery balls.
Fiery balls of rocks?
Come.
Nah, well, see what happened was when a meteorite shot across the sky, and then when it came into the atmosphere, it exploded, and then that's what that is.
That's how that happened.
That's had to be what happened.
So
the only way to explain it.
And then it came down burning still.
Right. It came down burning, right? Ain't that what happens? When things hit the atmosphere, they come down burning?
Oh, like Armageddon.
Yeah. That's what happened. It was Armageddon.
Oh, it was Armageddon.
So it was a big that's what I'm saying. It was a big meteorite.
Okay. What does thus say the Lord?
You never seen the movie Armageddon with Bruce Willis?
I've heard about it, but I've never seen
it. Well, it was a big meteorite. Yeah. That was supposed to hit Earth and destroy the Earth.
They nuked the meteor, they nuked the big old Texas-sized whatever anomaly.
Oh, asteroid.
Right.
Yeah.
But the point that I'm trying to make is that the non-believers, they'll say, well, Sodom and Gomorrah happened like the movies. It was a meteorite. It was a comet that exploded in the atmosphere, and it didn't rain down that much. It's a little bit of rain. A little bit of fiery rain.
It just trickled down.
Yeah.
Little sparks.
Here, like on Earth, like in real life, that happened here.
That happened at Sodom and Gomorrah, yeah.
Wow.
Watch, read the top of verse 24 again.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 24.
I don't think you're getting you're not getting the sarcasm that I'm using. It's all good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Then the Most High rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Most High out of heaven.
So fiery balls of fiery rocks were raining down. It's almost like he was dropping literal nukes and bombs on Sodom and Gomorrah.
Imagine bricks just falling out the sky on fire. Imagine that. Cinder blocks on fire falling out the sky. Right? Watch, go ahead, read on.
And he overthrew those cities, and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that
so
which...
it wasn't just one place. Sodom and Gomorrah was 5 cities. Read.
And that which grew upon the ground.
Where you at?
Verse 26.
Uh-huh.
But his wife looked back from behind him.
Stop right there. You finished verse 25? You started verse 26?
Right.
So that land. Read verse 25 again.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 25. And he overthrew those cities, and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground.
So everything that grew upon the ground was gone. This land now today is a wasteland. Nothing grows there. Nothing at all. It just looks like nothing. It looked like something that was preserved in a museum just to go and look at. When you see, like, she's putting up the images of it, you can tell that there were structures, there were buildings, there were houses there. But it just looks like it was just.
You got to ask yourself, why is it that a seacoast city, even to this day, can't grow anything? What seacoast? There's the Dead Sea right there. You got the Dead Sea. You got Zoar, which is where the Bible mentions Zoar at the bottom of the Dead Sea.
They can't grow anything?
No, nothing grows there because of the sulfur content in the soil. This specific, remember, we're dealing with the fertile crescent of the earth. We're dealing with the most fertile land on the earth. But in this specific place where the Dead Sea is, you can't grow nothing to this day. For some strange reason, nothing grows. Right? sulfur is a good mineral, but it's detrimental to soil and foliage. If you have too much sulfur, it affects the soil. Plants and trees and grass won't grow there. How is that? Even when they go there to this day, they can pick up the sulfur rocks that fell from the sky that destroyed everything. How'd that get there is what I'm trying to figure out.
You know, even on those sulfur rocks, because I was reading on it,
yeah,
they tested these sulfur rocks.
And ain't no sulfur like that ever been on Earth.
No, but the degree of heat that was coming from these sulfur rocks
right.
was never before on Earth.
Never before produced.
There was it wasn't something from a volcanic eruption that was nearby and it just spewed over to the city. It was hotter than the volcano. The degree of heat that they calculated from these sulfur balls were like, it was unusual.
Wow.
And you can still find them there today.
My question is, who put it there? And why only in that place where the Bible says that Sodom and Gomorrah was? How come there's not sulfur all through Israel? Because Sodom and Gomorrah is in Israel. It's in that region. Y'all know that, right? Mm-hmm. Right. Israel, Dead Sea, Sodom, Gomorrah, Zoar. You got Edom over here. You got northern, southern kingdom. Right? So how, you got to ask yourself. It goes right back to the scriptures we were talking about. Man is vain and ignorant of the Most High. The very things from the beginning is what proved the Most High is real, man. That the Bible does not lie. The Bible never lied. It was never a comic. It was never fiction. It was never a fairy tale.
Right. Well, one more verse that I left out on this.
Uh-huh.
If you go to Deuteronomy chapter 29 and verse 23. Because how we talked about just now, how nothing grows there, how it's a wasteland.
And that's what I was looking for. Yeah, you got it, right? Yeah.
God. Deuteronomy chapter 29 verse 23. And that the whole land thereof is brimstone and salt.
Is what?
Brimstone and salt.
That's why, like, the Israelis, they get that Dead Sea salt, facial scrub. They get that from the Dead Sea. They get that from the Dead Sea. They claim they get it from the Dead Sea, but it's supposed to be like super mineralized for some reason. All that sulfur in the soil reacts with that water. Now you get, they got stories like you go sit in the Dead Sea and all of a sudden you just get 10 pounds knocked off, or 10 years knocked off your age. They got all these little cockamamie stories. But supposedly that water is supercharged somehow.
Wow.
That Dead Sea water is supercharged, but you could understand that. Listen, it says that you need 30 pounds of sulfur per acre of land. 30 pounds of sulfur per acre for a plant to survive. There's way more sulfur. I'm trying to find the sulfur content in Sodom and Gomorrah, but it tells you. Go ahead, read on.
And burning, that it is not sown, nor beareth, nor any grass groweth therein, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah.
So he's saying, like, this land is an utter wasteland. You can't grow nothing there even if you wanted to. It's dead. It's dead land. Like, you know, I've never been to Sodom and Gomorrah, the area site. You know, I'm used to seeing like grass and trees grow. I'm used to seeing at least weeds grow in places, or cactus in dry places.
Sodom and Gomorrah looks like this tile.
It
just looks like pale tile. Like it just looks like this, like frankincense and myrrh rocks.
All over.
Yeah, just peach, just pale.
And no plant life.
No greenery.
Not even a tumbleweed. Not even a you know, like in the desert, you see that tumbleweed.
And you get that whistling sound. Right?
Not even that.
That's hilarious.
Well, go ahead and finish up the verse.
Admah and Zeboim, which the Most High overthrew in his anger and in his wrath.
That's it on that. So, I'm sure y'all seen the pictures that we were putting up showing how Sodom and Gomorrah looks, showing the sulfuric rocks that were raining down on Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm sure it's like a war zone. It's going to be a repeat of that right here in good old America. But from there, go to Genesis chapter 19 and verse 26. And so we know that Sodom and Gomorrah got bombed by the Most High. Heavily bombed by the Most High. And Lot and his wife and his daughters were taken outside of the city and told to run and not look back. Just keep on running and don't look back. Now we're going to get into what happened with Lot's wife. And remember, we had a little number count. It was just fun. Something I just thought of, because Abraham was going back and forth with the Most High about how many righteous people would the Most High spare Sodom and Gomorrah. So we're down to 4 people that the Most High is sparing from Sodom and Gomorrah. Read.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 26. But his wife looked back.
But his what?
His wife.
His is Lot's wife. What'd she do?
Looked back.
Go ahead.
From behind him. And she became a pillar of salt.
So she became a pillar of salt. She was like a salt statue because she looked back. She didn't want to leave what she left behind and look back. And now we can see Lot's wife today, that pillar of salt. Weren't you telling me brothers went out there and they took pictures too?
Brothers, I believe from the House of David.
Mm-hmm.
They go out there a few times a year, but they went to the cave that Lot was in. That cave is still there.
Yep.
And they took pictures of the pillar of salt of Lot's wife. She gonna put it up. It's still there to this day. It's still there until this day. They recognize that as Lot's wife. They got signs that say Lot's wife is tourists. Tourists can go and you can look and say, oh, whoa, there goes Lot's wife.
Common.
Yahweh Shai said it. Think about this. Yahweh Shai said, remember Lot's wife. That's one Bible verse. Remember Lot's wife. Why would he say it if it didn't exist?
Because they could still go back even while he was walking around and see the pillar of salt, Lot's wife. From there, we're going to go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10 and verse 6.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 6.
So again, we're bringing out all these different artifacts, these artifacts that have stood the test of time through. Think about it, man. Through earthquakes and rain and this and that, natural disasters. These things that the Bible spoke of are still here for us to reference back to and say, whoa, the Bible didn't lie. Wait a minute, the Most High, he said it. Does it not happen? You see that? So go ahead, read on.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 6.
Uh-huh.
When the ungodly perished, she delivered the righteous man who fled from the fire which fell down upon the 5 cities.
So this is referencing in Wisdom of Solomon what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. Read on.
Of those wickedness, even to this day, the wasteland that smoketh is a testimony.
It's a what?
A testimony.
Okay, so this land testifies to what the scripture said happened. You can go to that land and see it today. It testifies that the Bible is real. The Bible is true. The Most High's judgment actually rained down on this city that was called Sodom and Gomorrah.
And let me say something. I know y'all are like, well, no, there's things that grow in Sodom. There probably is now. It's not hard. All you do is just clear away the earth and bring in new soil. That's not hard. You can make anything. You can. That's what agriculture. That's what it is. You can make a plot of land grow anything you want it to grow if you bring in the right soil. But naturally, nothing grows there. Naturally, the soil, the sulfur content is too high because of what happened in Genesis. So yeah, they do have like some agricultural little sites out there, but that's not hard. All you gotta do is dig that earth up, put some topsoil, put some dirt, throw some seeds in, water it, it'll grow. That's all you gotta do for a few plots. But for something, you don't see trees out there, you don't see birds nesting, you don't see that. Where we at?
Read on.
And plants bearing fruit that never come to ripeness, and a standing pillar of salt is a monument of an unbelieving soul.
Wow.
The standing pillar of salt is what?
A monument of an unbelieving soul.
So monuments are are figures that we go back and look at to remember something that happened. Like what's the lady that holds
The Statue of Liberty?
the Statue of Liberty?
Or a national monument? Or the
Yeah, the Statue of Liberty is a monument of whatever wickedness they wanted to make it up for, but it's a monument. This is a monument for us, and it's a monument of
don't be unfaithful.
what not to do.
Dang.
Don't be unfaithful.
It's a monument. It's a monument saying, "Look, don't hold on to the things of this world so tightly." Scripture says, "Those who love their life will lose it. Those who hate their life in this world will keep it for life everlasting." So you know what? You gotta be willing to give up this world. Don't hold on so dear to it. Read on.
Verse 8. For regarding not wisdom, they got not only this hurt, that they knew not the things which were good, but also left behind them to the world of a memorial of their foolishness.
Now, it's referencing the whole city, the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. So not only was Lot's wife a memorial for what happened, so that we can go back and look and see, this is what happened to Lot's wife, this is what we shouldn't do. We got the whole city of Sodom and Gomorrah to look back at and say, dang, man, we need not to excel in wickedness, but to excel in righteousness. Read on.
So that in the things wherein they offended, they could not so much as be hid.
Read.
But wisdom delivered from pain those that attended upon her.
That's it on that.
God.
From there, go back to Genesis 19 and verse 27.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 27. And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Most High. And he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass.
That's it on that.
Okay.
Yeah, just saying that, Lot got out, him and his daughters. We went from what, 6 down to 3. So only Lot and his daughters actually got out of Sodom and Gomorrah alive. Everybody else got wiped out along with the city, and Lot's wife is a monument to what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah, and the land itself is a monument of what happened in history that we can see today. From there, we're going to go to talk on how when we were coming out of Egypt, how we crossed the Red Sea. The whole story of Moses delivering us through the power of the Most High out of Egypt. So from there, go to Exodus chapter 14 and verse 1.
Exodus chapter 14, verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they turn and encamp before Pihahiroth, between Migdol and the sea, over against Baal-Zephon. Before it shall ye encamp by the sea.
All right, so this is after we had came out of Egypt, and we went through this this mountainy region, and now we're coming up to the sea. Jump down to verse 8.
And the Most High hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel, and the children of Israel went out with an high hand. But the Egyptians pursued after them all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh.
All the what?
The horses and chariots of Pharaoh.
Okay, read on.
And his horsemen and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea beside Pihahiroth, before Baal-Zephon.
So we were encamped over by the sea, by the Red Sea, where the Most High said, go ahead and set up camp. But we don't got nowhere to go because the way we came in, and there's a map of it that that the system should be putting up if it's not there already, where we had went through these mountainy region, and then we're faced at a sea. But
Yeah, we had the mountains to our back.
yeah, we had the mountains to our back and we had the sea to our front.
face, and they're coming from the mountains.
They're coming from the mountains, exactly. So we don't got nowhere to go.
If we ran north, because what was it, the Red Sea? The
Kind
Red Sea runs north. The Red Sea runs north and south, right along Africa and Saudi Arabia. So if we would have ran south, it didn't matter. We could not run the chariots. If we would have ran north, we wouldn't be able to outrun the chariots. If we would have ran back towards the mountains, we would have ran into the chariots. The only way was through that water,
of.
right? How well can you swim? Right?
Go ahead, read on.
Verse 10. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Most High. And they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness?
Was there not enough burial plots in Egypt that you got to take us out here so we could get buried out here?
Dang.
But that's how prideful Israel was, man.
God.
Garbage.
Read on.
Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us, to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians?
That was like, man, Moses, we good. We ain't really in captivity. We get bread, water, food. We get garlic leaks. Come on now, it ain't that bad. It's just like people today. They don't feel like they're in the captivity. They're like, man, it's good. It's all right here. I'm in America, land of the free, land of enterprise. I can grow and make a business. I can come up in the world. I can be a rapper. I can be a model. I can be an actor. All these vain positions. Oh shoot, I can get bread. I can be a CEO of somebody else's company. Read on.
For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness.
Read.
And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Most High, which he will shew to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, you shall see them again no more forever.
He said, you're not going to see these guys anymore. Now, you got to picture the event. This is an actual event in an actual region of the world that you can see today. The mountains at our back, the sea at our front. Can't head north and can't head south. We got these golden chariots and all these different Egyptian chariots that, because where they were at, they can look up and see the trail of the mountain that they came, and they see the Egyptians heading on that trail, and they're like, dang, they coming. Where we gonna go? What can we do? But Moses said, hey, don't trip. Most High got us. The Egyptians you see right now, ain't nobody gonna ever see them again. Read on.
Verse 14. The Most High shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. And the Most High said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel, that they go forward. But lift thou up thy rod, and stretch out thy hand over the sea, and divide it.
He did what?
He lift up thy rod, and stretch out thy hand over the sea, and divide it.
So the Most High is saying, stretch out your rod, and divide the sea. The waters part. It says they went as on dry land.
That's right here. That's what I'm reading right now. It says when Moses addressed himself, this is the Josephus, sorry. I'm in the Josephus, Jewish historian. I'm in book 2, chapter 16. and he gives an account. He said, which parted asunder at the stroke, and receiving those waters in itself, left the ground dry as a road, a place of flight for the Hebrews. And you got to think about it. For us to cross the Red Sea, it had to have been dry. We had chariots and animals. If that land was still wet, we would have just sunk in the sand. We would have just been in quicksand.
Yeah.
You ever see the bottom of the sea floor is just sandy, and if it's wet, you're just gonna struggle to get through it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So he made it dry ground as a road and a place of flight for the Hebrews. Now when Moses saw this appearance of the Most High, and that the sea went out of its own place and left dry land, he went first unto it, and directed the Hebrews to follow him along the divine road, and to rejoice at the danger their enemies that followed him were in, and gave thanks to the Most High for this surprising a deliverance which appeared for him. And this is cold because, you know, when I look at my maps, right, I go on my little map hunts, and I'm like, man, what part of the Red Sea did they cross? And I'm looking, I'm like, damn, they crossed right here. Maybe it was just shallow. Because that's what they try to come with. Oh, it was just shallow. It was like there's a spot in Florida that you go to. It's called it's something Bay, but you can literally walk out 100 yards into this water. It won't get past your waist.
Really?
Yeah. When I went last time, you had people out there. They just walked out. You can see Miami. Woo, Miami, right? You can see it in the distance. It's way out. Because this is like South Florida. You got the city of Miami. You can see it. And then you look and you're like, are they walking? And you're like, whoa, they're walking. And you see them, they start walking towards you. Like, you walk all the way out there, but the water don't go past the waistline on you or me. You can walk out there all the way to your waist. So people say, well, they walked waist deep water. No, they didn't. They couldn't have. Because then how would they get the animals through it? How would they get the old people through it? How would they get the chariots, the carriages, and all the different things we had through all that water in time for the Egyptians not to run up and kill us?
There's an article, I found it real quick, that they found chariots and the bodies of...
That's what we about to go into. That's what we're about to go into. She got all the pictures up here. That's what we're about to go into.
Yeah.
Nah, good job.
Yes.
But yeah, that's what we're about to hit.
Well, they said in the article too that there's no boats or anything anywhere, so it makes sense that it's from the Exodus.
Right. Most
That
I
they
did
found on
this.
dry land.
Watch. Read verse 16.
Verse 16. But lift thou up thy rod, and stretch out thy hand over the sea, and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea.
Read.
And I, behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them.
So he's saying, so Pharaoh gonna come with you on this dry land. He gonna chase you on this dry land between these walls of water. Read on.
And I will give me honor upon Pharaoh, and upon all his hosts, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the Egyptians shall know that I am Yahweh, when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the angel of the Most High, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. And the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them.
Okay, a little smoke screen, little delay to give them some time to go ahead and scurry through the water, through the sea, hold the Egyptians up. Read.
And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel.
Go ahead.
And it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these, so that the one came not near the other all the night. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Most High caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land. And the waters were divided. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground. And the waters were a wall unto them on the right hand and on the left.
So you have these towering walls of water to the left and to the right.
The water just did this. That's basically what happened. It just went from the bottom up.
It didn't just instantly do it either. Like the scripture says, it was a wind, and it started to.
Sound effects and all.
But sound effects and all. But the cloud that was behind them, that was blinding the Egyptians, that was interference. Most High is orchestrating all of this. It's beautiful the way the Most High works, because he has that bird's eye view. He's looking down on the whole situation, and he's orchestrating the events just like he does in our lives. So he's orchestrating these events, holding up the Egyptians, separating the water, and saying, "Okay, y'all go ahead and go through." Read on.
Verse 23. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen.
His what?
His chariots, his horses, and his horsemen.
It says his chariots too. So, Most High is setting this up because Most High, he's very efficient in what he does. He's very efficient. So, he's the one that knocks out 2 birds with 1 stone. But he's more like, I'm going to knock out 150 birds. I'm going to knock out 1,000 birds with 1 stone. So,
Not only is he efficient and very meticulous, as we're reading, and beautifully orchestrates his things, he also knows the hearts of men.
He does.
So he knew exactly what they were going to do.
Yep.
And his timing is always impeccable.
Oh, it's on point. Most High is on point. He knew Pharaoh was going to run in after him.
Yep.
Oh, they run across. We going to run across too. We going to get them. They ain't getting away from us. The pride.
Yep.
Man. I'm like, hold on. How long do we know this water is going to stay like this? Like.
They were blood drunk. They were pride drunk. Pharaoh was pride drunk.
Definitely pride drunk.
The Most High knew it.
Yep.
Kind. Read on.
Verse 24. And it came to pass that in the morning watch, the Most High looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians.
Go ahead.
And took off their chariot wheels, that they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, Let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Most High fighteth for them against the Egyptians. And the Most High said unto Moses, Stretch out thy hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians, upon the chariots. And
upon the what?
Upon their chariots.
So he said, stretch out their hand, and the water's going to come collapse on these Egyptians. Egyptians, they already hit the point of no return.
He let them get to the middle.
He let them get to the middle.
So the distance, no matter what, you would think, like, if they go straight, they're done. If they try to turn back, they're done.
But that's what they tried to do. They tried to turn back.
Mm-hmm.
They were distraught. They're like, dang, the chariots is breaking us trying to go through. The Most High, the real God, is actually fighting for them. You know what? Let's bounce. Let's turn around. Most High said, okay, Moses, I'm giving you the signal. You do the signal now. Close up on them. Read on.
Upon the chariots and upon their horsemen. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it. And the Most High overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. And the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the host of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them.
So, the walls of water closed up on the Egyptians. So, what we should see in the Red Sea today are chariots from the Egyptian army. We have examples that should be popping up there of the Egyptian chariots. of what the chariots look like under the water now. Because you got to think about it. It's been a long time since that happened. There's a lot of coral reef and stuff like that growing on them. So on some of these images, they might look a little hazy. But it's showing the shape of these chariots, the axles, the wheels, the actual cart part of the chariot in the water. So these are physical evidence of the chariots in the Red Sea from when the time that Moses separated the Red Sea and closed it back on the Egyptians. So that's just, again, something historical, something that you can still go back and reference today to see.
Something that the bottom line is that there's evidence.
There's evidence.
Like the scriptures say for it is evident our Lord sprang out of Judah.
It's obvious.
There's historical documentation or evidence that you can touch, that you can look at, that you can feel and say, oh yeah, that validates. I mean, when you look at this story, just the part of the angel departing and clouding the Egyptians' vision at night and making it light for Israel, you're like, dang. And then because they crossed the sea at night. You know that, right? They crossed at night. They were darkened. They had light to see. And then in the morning, the Egyptians are able to see. They're like, yeah, water. Right? Water. You're like, whoa, the timing. But when you read it, you know, with the way a lot of it is the way they taught us, man. They taught us that it was just a allegory, right? That word allegory, like, oh, it means something. It's a representation of something else, but in a negative way, like, oh, it never really happened. And this is what we got to understand, that these things happen. So, and we got two other points, right? Mount Sinai, but we're going to jump down to the bottom. Jump down to Isaiah.
Yeah, so, yeah, we have other points, like there's Mount Sinai. If you look up Mount Sinai, you can Google search it. Mount Sinai is like burnt cookie at the top. And yeah. Mount Sinai is where Moses went up to commune with the Most High and get the laws, statutes, commandments, and bring them back down to Israel.
And why is it burnt to a crisp up there? Because the billions of chariots that circled. So the majesty of the Most High was up there, but it was the chariots that were just hovering and all that power. Remember, the Most High said if he came down on earth, he'll melt the hills like wax. So imagine what the angels and Yahweh Shai can do. They'll burn, they got the same, I don't want to say the same magnitude of power, but they have power. So Mount Sinai, we got Joshua's 12 stones.
Yeah, the 12 stones that they took out of the Jordan when Joshua was crossing over to go to, they marched around it?
Jericho.
Jericho. When they went to go against Jericho, when they were crossing that sea, they said, hey, take the 12 stones out of Jordan to represent the 12 tribes of Israel and set them up on Gilead.
Mm-hmm.
At Gilead. Set them up at Gilead. And that's still there today. It's kind of fumbled around and stuff, but the land is still there and you can see where the stones were set up.
Yep. Go to Isaiah. No, let's go to Romans. Go to Romans 3 and 3.
Romans chapter 3, verse 3. For what if some did not believe?
Yeah, what if? Well, you have many that don't believe. You have many, the invisible things that were supposed to show you belief. Like another invisible thing, faith, right? Ain't faith invisible?
God.
But you have to use it, and then you'll see it work, and then other things come from faith, right? He said, but what if some did not believe? Go ahead.
Shall their unbelief make the face of the Most High without effect? Yahweh forbid.
Most High forbid. Come on, just because you don't believe don't mean the Most High ain't real. Mm-hmm. Don't mean these things didn't really happen. Don't mean that the evidence that's right before our very face isn't there just because you don't believe it's there. I'm showing you The Bible shows you. Brothers and sisters show you. Nature itself shows you before your very eyes.
And all this evidence that we brought out.
And all this evidence that we're bringing out in this class shows you. The historical evidence. Read on.
Let the Most High be true, but every man a liar.
Read.
As it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings and mightest overcome when thou art judged.
So, when these judgments come upon you, you can say, hey, look, check this out. Why does that happen like that? Oh, well, look in the scriptures. It said that. Oh, look at that. Why is that? Oh, look, it says it right here in the scriptures. How old is the Bible? Thousands, 1,000 years old? 2,000? More? You know, why does it say this in the Bible and it happened? You can see these places today.
Yeah, Deuteronomy 28. You know, you go to Egypt again in ships. Like, who did that happen to? You know, it's a lot of, there's so many different things. If we super examine, you can say, man, that's still happening. I mean, they're still uncovering artifacts from these different kingdoms, from David's kingdom and Solomon's kingdom. We found this cup that proves Josiah the king was real, and it got his inscription or his seal.
Yeah, even with Isaiah, they found a rock with Isaiah's name and his signature on it.
Oh, in the rock?
Yeah, in the rock. His inscription.
His insignia.
Insignia,
right.
Yeah.
Right, go ahead. Where we at?
So from there, go to 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 13.
2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 13.
Read.
If we believe not, yet he abideth faithful.
So even if we don't believe, the Most High is going to stay faithful. He's the Most High. He changes not. He's going to continue being who he is. He's not going to switch it up just because you're wavering. He's not going to switch it up because of the nations try to switch up things or try to make false things and false accusations against him. He's not switching up for nothing. Read on.
He cannot deny himself.
Read.
Of these things put them in remembrance.
Put in remembrance the events that's happened in the scriptures. The historical events that's happened that we can still reference today. The artifacts, the stones that were uncovered, all the Hebrew inscriptions from the Mayans, the Incans, the Toltecs, things that you can still find today, these artifacts. Read on.
Charging them before the Most High that they strive not about the words to no profit.
Yeah, because there's no profit in going tit for tat. Because it's right there. It's right in front of you.
Yeah, show us your God. Show us your salvation. Where's your bones? Where's your this? That's no profit. There's other things that prove the Most High. Just in using, even when you use the wisdom, because people like to say, well, oh, that was ancient times, and that was biblical times. That book was for them.
Yeah, it don't apply now.
It don't apply now. And it's like, but you use it now, and you still see the benefit of what they got back then. So even in that, the evidence is there regardless. Go ahead.
But to the subverting of the hearers, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
So, that's it on that. When you study, you start to develop questions, you start to understand, you start getting more knowledge, and then when people say things, you can say, but this says that. Oh, look, and I can show you it right here. I used to tell people, the way you're going is going to end up like this. I would predetermine their path. Not because I had a crystal ball, not because I'm I'm some type of soothsayer or anything. It's because I read Proverbs. That's it. Proverbs, Wisdom of Solomon, Ecclesiasticus. Because it says, hey, if you do this, these are the kind of things that's going to happen. And I would just tell people. So us studying, it shows us where we can show others what is and what isn't. If they don't want to hear, they don't want to see, that's on them. But at least we know how to divide the word of truth. We know how to say, look, I know the history, and I know where the history is at, and I have the evidence of the history. I have the evidence of the artifacts. I know that this is real. It's not a fairy tale, it's not a comic book. These are actual events. This is my history. You might have, your history might be U.S. history, but the Bible is my history. Study show thyself approved. Yes, ma'am.
And then when you get those individuals that come to you to try to debunk the Bible or want to argue, you're not persuaded by their book knowledge.
Right.
You're not. You don't start to develop doubt and question what what you're already convicted in your spirit to know is the truth. When you study, people can do and say a lot of things, but because you know the Bible, you understand that the word of the Most High be true and every man a liar. So it's easy to just look at them and be like, you know what?
Foolishness.
Yeah, you think what you want to think, go right ahead, because I'm going to think and believe what I know is to be true.
Yeah, you know when it says the Spirit bear witness, our spirit is bearing witness to everything around us, and first and foremost, it's the scriptures, and the scriptures is what enlightens us to the things that are around us. So we bear witness to the word, and then you can step back and say, "Whoa, well, the Bible said that this was going to happen. Wow, I bear witness." Or the Bible said that this was going to happen, or the Bible said that Noah's Ark was in Turkey, right? Oh wow, it's there. You bear witness to these things. So yeah, good one. Any questions? On the topic? Anything online? No?
No.
Alright, we'll end it there. No questions online. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow in Virginia. Another live class. Your class on class on class on class on class. So alright, so we will be back here on Wednesday. Again, make sure you check out the Hidden Truth Bible Show YouTube page. That's where we put our cable shows and news shows. Check that out. Like, share, subscribe, okay? With that, we're going to say shalom, and we'll see y'all on Wednesday.
Shalom!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah, the Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. Yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on top. The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutting. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Homie, where's your fruit? If the Most High is your rock, don't treat him like a side piece. Come in this truth plan and treat you like a side piece. He's the God of mercy and wrath. So do you want to fly or do you keep the Bible on cop? The Most High is my rock.